Hey everybody, Aaron Fullen here with something to say. Something, as we speak, is taking over the world. It isn't aliens, it isn't robots, it isn't even Taylor Swift that we know of. You know what it is? This little fella right here. Smartphones are taking over the world! Now before all of you get huffy and puffy about what I just said, let me clarify, I know these have incredible benefits as well. I mean, seriously, get it? Siri, how do I find my way to my bathroom? Anybody gone out to eat recently and seen an entire family sitting out to eat? Not a word. Not a word! I've seen it so many times. I've seen couples out on dates sitting right across from each other paying for food. If you're gonna sit on your phone, don't go out to eat. I see it in the workplace. You see all these people going to the bathroom 20 times a day. It's not their bladder, folks. They're getting little vibrations in their pocket and they have to check who it is, what their notifications are, and they can't get by without it. Another good example, how about when you're standing in an elevator? Remember in the good old days when you just stare at the number, ding, 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 awkwardly and not say anything to the other person? Now, every time you go in an elevator, everyone does this to avoid any sort of social interaction or uncomfortable, oh, I'm gonna have to start a conversation. Smartphones are marketed as a way to connect with people all across the globe with FaceTime, social media, but all it's doing is driving us apart. Technology is changing so fast these days that people are launching new products, new technology, all the time without fully understanding its potential for good and for ill. And I think this is a prime example of what we're not realizing these are doing. It is a scientific fact that, guess what, folks? Smartphones, I know I'm waving this all over the place, but let's face it, this is the object of discussion, so I'm gonna wave it all over the place. I digress. The scientific fact is that these phones and the things on them, the apps, the social media, all that kind of stuff, releases dopamine in the brain. It's addictive, folks. Once you get started on this, and you start getting people liking your posts and texting you and all of these things, it's creating a chemical reaction in your brain to bond with people on your little device instead of the people in your life that actually care about you. It's getting out of control. Just look around you, take a day, and observe people out in your sphere and how much they're attached to their phones. And you know what? We, as the adults, need to set the standard. We're just as bad. You know what's heartbreaking? And I realize this in my own life, in my own family. I'll be on my phone doing something. All of a sudden, out of this little voice coming from somewhere saying, Daddy, look! Daddy, look! Daddy, look! And it takes me like 3 or 4 times for it to even register. And I'm like, oh, yes. And I think, what am I missing? Who am I to think that that's not going to translate to my children? My priorities, the things that I view, or it doesn't matter what I say. If I say, well, family's important, but I sit here on my phone while my family's trying to interact with me, that's not going to translate. Your kids are going to get it. They're going to go, well, Dad views the smartphone as more important than me. So what? Wrap it up, Aaron. What do we do? Here's what I'm suggesting. Here's what I'm challenging you all, challenging myself to do. Sit down, whether it just be you if you're single, or with your family if you're married and you have kids. Sit down, or if you're a business and trying to figure out what to do about this, sit down, have a discussion. How are we going to moderate? How are we going to figure out a balance to life with smartphones? A couple ideas that our family has had. You know what? Never phones in bed. That's a good place to start. Or maybe after 6, 7 o'clock, you put your phones away for the night and don't get them until the morning. Just so you can be separated from that world and don't let it have a hold on you. Do we own smartphones or do they own us?